Merry meet and welcome to our stream, everybody. This is Ariel Gatoga. We're streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch, and this is a general reading for all signs for today, the 7th of September, 2023. Moderating today on YouTube is the lovely Heather, and moderating on Twitch is the lovely Deline. Thank you so much, Heather. Thank you so much, Deline. And thank you to everybody for joining us today. If you're watching on a restream on YouTube, you can fast forward through all the shuffling if you want to by using the timestamps right in the video description. Today I am using this unusual but wonderful tarot deck called RWS XTDM. It's a hybrid of the Rider-Waite-Smith and the Tarot of Marseille. This is the Hungry Water that I made, and I'm going to use 3 sprays in this room. It's gorgeous. And you can find the information on how to make your own Hungry Water and or buy this deck. Go into the video description of this video on my YouTube channel. This goes out to a lot of people, so if for some reason it doesn't seem to apply to you, just disregard it because it may not be meant for you. In that case, check out the zodiacal readings for your own individual sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign. You can find all of those replays very easily right on my website at ariels-corner.com, Ariel's Corner with a hyphen.com. Simply click on the free online tarot readings link in the main menu. If you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you are watching on Twitch, please make sure you follow us on Twitch, and you can watch on Twitch without ads when you subscribe to us. We do have a shop, and that's at arielscornershop.com. arielscornershop.com. We have all kinds of merchandise there. Those are all affiliate links, which means that we make a small commission off of each and every sale. We do appreciate your support. Another way to support us is by sending a donation, and you can do that by going to paypal.me/arielgatoga, paypal.me/arielgatoga. And if you're on YouTube and want to give a donation, you could use a super sticker or super chat if you're live, or a super thanks if you're on a restream. I don't use card reversals, so you're going to see me flipping those cards right side up. And that's just how I like to read. All is well, I promise. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And I'm going to shuffle one more time just for good measure. We'll give this deck a nice clean cut, and we will see what's in the cards for everybody today, the 7th of September, 2023. Starting out with a 3 of Swords, followed by a 4 of Coins, and then a Queen of Wands. Good, good, good. So, we want to acknowledge what we've gone through. Sometimes I think we try to rush through our grief or rush through things, and it's understandable because nobody wants to be in pain. So the faster you get out of pain, the better. I understand that. But the way that we avoid recreating patterns and things like that is to honor, what we went through and how it happened and even why it happened and what we can do to avoid those kinds of cycles. Sometimes they're unavoidable. Sometimes it has nothing to do with us, but very frequently a lot of the pain that we go through, at least we participated in on some level. And that's not a time to blame yourself. It's just a nice thing to know. It's like, well, it's good to know if you've contributed to your own pain in some way so that you can learn to release that pattern. That's all. And it's saying that one of the best things that you can do right now to get back on track, those of you who've been going through something, is to get things in order. Just to organize stuff in the physical realm, even real stuff that has, whatever, a closet, a garage, a desk, finances, whatever needs to be in order. Start small if you want to. If something seems too daunting, then break it down into smaller pieces. But that's one of the best things that you can do right now, is to get things in order. That's going to sort of propel you out of this painful experience and into something very positive. And the something positive is a reaffirmation of your dedication to your work. I think some of you may have been pulled off course a little bit, and it's understandable if you were going through some painful experiences, but to get back on course is your goal. And sometimes that's easier said than done. like it says here, the power of Jupiter will help you to get there very easily, or much more easily. And the way to invoke that power of Jupiter is by creating order. The term that order is heaven's first law, that phrase is a really good one. I think Emerson said that. I can't remember. But order is heaven's first law means that when you get things in order, you're doing your part, and infinite intelligence will do its part. Not because you have to pay for infinite intelligence to do their part, but because you want infinite intelligence to underwrite you. So you do what you can, and then the infinite does everything else. That's sort of the real meaning to that serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Many people hear that and they think, okay, well, I'm just going to resign myself to the things I can't change as being, my cross to bear and the things that I must suffer in this life. And that's not at all how the universe works. You do your part and infinite intelligence will do its part, is what that means. So, but we got to always have to get the ball rolling. And it's saying the best way for you to get the ball rolling is to get things in order. Boy, you had some 3 activity. It seems like it's been interesting because it seems like pain and prosperity have sort of like been mixed together a bit. And that can be very confusing because you don't understand that one doesn't have to do with the other. They just happen to be simultaneously something that you're experiencing. And I think a lot of us, when we have, some good and some bad, we think, well, you got to take the good with the bad, instead of extracting one from the other and saying, wait a minute, infinite intelligence's will for me is happiness and joy, not the pain. So, I'm going to accept that. I'm going to accept that joy. I'm going to accept that happiness and accept that prosperity and understand that this pain is not necessary, no matter what anybody tells me. People tell us all the time, well, pain is the necessary part of life and you just have to learn to grin and bear it. That's not Spirit's will for you, is to have to grin and bear it. It's actually Spirit's will for you to overcome it, to transform it, and to move through it. So don't confuse one with the other. Just because they're happening simultaneously doesn't mean that that's all from Spirit. Okay, it's all about 3s for you. It's a Saturn day. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful. What's coming out of that, getting things into order, is happiness, is what we just talked about, is infinite intelligence's will for you. As you get things in order, you are literally opening the door to heaven for yourself so that you can experience all of the blessings that are your divine right. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And look at this. This is one of my favorites. This good news. Good news. This good news supersedes everything that you've gone through. And then your goal is to learn how to remember the lessons without dwelling on the pain of the past. You can learn the lessons without recreating the pain. A lot of us, when we have things that go on in our lives that are painful, we have a hard time extracting the lesson from it without replaying the pain. And if you keep replaying the pain, then because your mind is creative, you're on the road to new pain. So our goal is to learn how to separate things and to say, wait a minute, I can learn a lesson from what happened that was painful and recognize that infinite intelligence wants me to learn through joy, does not want me to learn through pain. But when there is pain, I can still learn, but in the future, my future lessons can be learned through joy. And how do I do that? By listening to the good news, by listening to that still small voice within me. And how do you access that still small voice within you? By quieting your mind, by relaxing, by allowing yourself to be guided. And then it's saying, and then you don't just stay in that sort of like meditation all day long. You do that just for a moment to get the inspiration, to get the direction, to get the news, if you will. And then you take that ball and run with it, and you get active with all of those creative pursuits, like I said earlier, that have been that are going to be, if they haven't already been, rekindled. Some things that many of you may have even put on hold because you had all of these painful situations to deal with. Now, this Three of Swords, just to talk about some of the things that many of you have been going through: breakups, death, right? Loss of job, loss of income, loss of reputation, right? Some real loss, some real pain. And for many of you, it's not because you deserved it. It's not because you created that reality for yourself, but you know, so for whatever reason, you went through all of that. But at the same time, simultaneously, many of you have also been having some good things happening, some good money stuff going on, or some new opportunities. Maybe some of you got a new job. And so when, like I said earlier, when these things get all mixed up together, like in a martini shaker or something like that, we think, well, that's just life. You know, there's some good, there's some bad. And the good news that's coming to you is stating, no, we don't want you to have the pain. We don't want you to go down those roads. And even though nobody's saying that it's your fault that you went through the pain, we can help you to avoid that pain in the future, right? So that that's not your norm. That's not the way you learn lessons. So it's a very, very beautiful day today, especially as you, like I said earlier, as you start getting things in order, things change. It's almost like when you clean out that drawer or you clean out that room or whatever that one little spot is, you don't have to overdo anything, but with that one little bit of order, it is like you open the door to a new reality for yourself. And that new reality, it comes across sometimes as being extra light in the room. Things have a different feeling. You see things differently. You feel things differently. You just perceive things in a slightly different way. And so many times when people, are expecting these mystical experiences, they get this idea that there's this flash of light or this puff of smoke and everything is completely different. And in a way that's true, but it's a lot more subtle than that. It's a lot more subtle than that. When you get all of this help coming in, like what this Page of Cups is talking about, it can be a very still, small voice. It can be a very subtle nuance, but that subtle nuance can change your trajectory very dramatically so that you are moving into those new futures where you're back on track. Things are really working out for you, and you don't have that experience of, okay, well, maybe I'll have a little time before the next really painful experience comes my way. Instead, you start learning that you can go from success to success, from glory to glory, from joy to joy, and that the painful experiences aren't inevitable anymore. So it's a beautiful, beautiful day. A lot of threes, a lot of Saturn. There's a lot of cause and effect going on. There's a lot of, threes are sometimes the rewards or punishments of karma. That's a lot of times what people think of as being Saturn. But your rewards far outweigh your so-called punishments. And like I said, infinite intelligence is ready for you to stop having what you consider to be punishments and is ready for you to have that success. And it's a new idea of what success is. It's almost like the work that you're doing is a reward unto itself, and your idea of prosperity and your idea of joy and things like that are very different than what you might have thought before. And so you can expect the prosperity to come to give you the resources to do what you need to do. But it just seems like joy is your path in the future. And you want to make sure that you choose that path, because nobody can force you down that path of joy. But that path of joy is definitely open for you. And you can get started by getting things in order today. Bless the pain that you've experienced, but definitely release it. And let's not replay that. Let's just focus on that which is the good news for you today. and allow. You can even tell yourself, I'm open to receiving the good news, and I follow where that voice leads me. Good, good, good. I'll be back for another general reading tomorrow. Thanks so much to the amazing moderators, Heather and Deline, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Blessed be.